The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie sky is wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, the coyotes wail along the trail. Deep in the heart of
How's it feel being in Texas?
Hot and humid. It is weather-wise, it's the complete contrast of where I live. It's interesting, but I really like it. I've been really surprised how friendly, open, and just nice people are. And then also, I think the concept of Whole Foods is something you should bring to Europe, because that stuff is golden. We definitely need. We are lacking so hard in that department in Europe. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm ready to race.
The chicken hawks are full of squawks. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Right, so we are here in Texas, in the Woodlands, the day after the Ironman Texas, and a short race recap. It was the first race in a half a year, so yeah, basically to take you through the lead up, it's been a good lead up, a lot of changes in coach, environment, and also approach to training and everything else. So to be honest with you, I was kind of in doubt, or not in doubt, but like I was very nervous leading into the race because I haven't done any of the usual sessions I kind of do normally to gauge where I am in fitness-wise and stuff. And when you're up against the monster as a full Ironman, and then also on top of that, the kind of field that was assembled here, that's it creates some questions about fitness and health and so on. But due to hard work and dedication, I made it to Texas. What turned out to be fully fit, and also definitely stronger and healthier than I've been before. So it was a touchdown here in Texas, a couple of days of acclimatization, and basically just did, the usual pre-race sessions in the heat. Tried to get a little bit used to it. Turned out I've done quite a good heat prep back home and with sauna sessions and a lot of other, the turbo stuff. All kind of things we've touched on in a video you can see if you click here. So I was pretty happy when I touched down and could see like there was no serious drifts in heart rate and stuff, even though you sweat like a pig when you're doing sessions or basically just walking around and existing. But that's a good thing. That's because you're actually acclimatized and have done the right work before. So I took that as a good sign. I had Philippa, my girlfriend, and her dad, and Philip Seib, the coach, coming in a couple of days before the race just to get everything sorted, and it was extremely smooth. We all did a very good job in just ticking all the boxes and making sure that I could be there on the start line as good as possible and also as relaxed as possible. So we got there on race day. All the pre-race nerves obviously there. The first race of the year, the first race since I found out I had the two torn discs in my back, and that obviously creates a lot of questions. So heading down there with all the excitement and like you can taste the kind of tension there is in the air when you reach to the transition zone in the morning, and it's just beautiful. And everybody, all the age groupers and all the pros, we feel kind of the same way when you're in that kind of bubble, and I think that's quite unique for our sport and also what I love it for. So that was really cool. Set up my Speedmax and just made sure everything was ready and good to go. head down to the swim start, found a quiet place just to get set up and everything, got called into the water, and then the gun went. And you know, it was cool how all that kind of nervous tension and everything kind of just left the body, and I was just ready to fire. The swim, obviously, it was a huge group. It's the biggest field I've ever raced in a full Ironman, and that also creates like dynamics on the swim that you're not really used to in that kind of racing. Because you know, an Ironman, especially with the Pro Series, there are so many guys who are complete athletes, and that's, you really find out that it's a cool way of racing, because it's unique to have an Ironman with such a high level of racing overall. So it was a huge front pack, and to be honest, it was one of my worst swims I've ever had in a triathlon. So already there, you know, the start was good, but then I found myself in kind of a battle of, I didn't really believe in it, or I didn't have the balls to claim my spot in the group, and it was really hard to like stay in that moment and just keep nailing kind of the technical aspect of it. Difficult to find a pure rhythm with enough power and stuff. So I was not really sure if I was actually in the front pack or if I was in the chasing pack, because based on how it felt, basically. And if you see me on it's embarrassing to see, to be honest, if you see me on the live coverage, because I was like zigzagging, didn't really find feet, didn't really find the direct way. So a lot of work have to be put into in the pool to correct that. But that is how it is, and you find out during racing. So that's the beauty of it. Exited the water in like the last half of the group, and I think it was like basically 20 guys or so coming out of the water. Not 100% sure, but it was a huge front pack. Everybody was there basically, that I expected, and also more guys than what I expected. So that, you know, makes us come out onto the bike in a big group, and you have to really, with the impact of the race ranger, I think it's a great aspect of it, because everybody was like, obviously there's the first couple of kilometers where you have to find your spot in the group, but from there, from my point of view, it was really fair, and it was, people were respecting the fact that if there was a red light, then you overtake, and I think it's a really cool way of racing, and it's good to have that kind of race dynamics. So it went out like blistering fast. It was you were just on the pedal the whole time and pushing hard, and I was looking down and thinking like, this is like how it feels on a 70.3. So I turned off the screen with the wattage and just made sure that I stayed in the moment and rode as hard as possible to keep up. And I think we turned the first 90k in like 1:56 or 57 or so, which is insane on a full Ironman. And then from there, it went from being a big group of maybe 11, 12 guys to split up completely. And then a couple of guys came through, Robert Callan, Leon Chevalier, Cam Worth. The like really big bikers came through the group and kind of exploded into pieces, and from there it was a lot of guys on like one-on-one and stuff, and that's also, it's a cool way of racing, because it's hard and honest, and it's basically like cat and mouse. Like you don't really know, you're just investing everything in what you believe in, but you don't really know how it's all gonna turn out, because obviously it's a long day of racing and a full Ironman you're doing. So I made the shot of staying to my wattage and keep it constant, but also a little bit conservative, because I knew it was going to be a hard, warm, and also a day with high humidity, which will not really make it easier on the run, especially the last 10 to 12 kilometers. They always tough. So I came in to T2 maybe, I think it was like 4 minutes down on the leaders, and Turned out Cam Worth broke the, I think, Ironman course record split for the bike segment, which is pretty good job of him to continue developing as an athlete and stuff. That's inspiring. So went on the run, and I decided to go out the first part, the first 2 loops. So it was 3 loops of 14 kilometers, and the first 2 loops I decided to go out and like keep it as steady, but also it have to feel as easy as possible, because you know you're going to struggle the last 12 kilometers no matter what. It's going to be cooking. So the first lap went by, and I just felt like running with 2 fingers up the nose, and yeah, it was just easy. Enjoyed the atmosphere and kept trotting away in like your own technique, own pace, own best feeling. And then I started to reel in the guys who were in front of me, and all of a sudden I found myself in a position where I could actually shoot for the podium. Had Philip just giving me good feedback all the time of like, made sure I stayed in the moment and did the right stuff in terms of aid stations and pacing and everything. So it was brilliant to have him by the side. Obviously, it's also a new kind of it's a new way of working for us as well. It's the first time we've been together in a race, so I think it was pretty good to experience in a race like this, where the last 12 kilometers was extremely demanding. And then I could just see in the front, like I was in 4th position, and I could see in the front that Rudy was there, and I got the splits of like, yeah, he's 25 seconds up the road, and he's 30 seconds off the road, he's 25 seconds up the road, and I was just running, and I looked at the watch and it said like 20k kilometers, and I was like, okay, a couple of kilometers more, and then we start racing. Then I put in the surge. I took in the last couple of gels and was really committed to reel him in, and then it hit 30 kilometers, and I was like, now we're racing. And I felt like from that point on, I was just sprinting. Like I gave everything in every step, in every movement I made, was just to be as efficient as possible and to be as fast as possible. And I didn't gain any time on him, and I could just see like the splits got a little bit slower. We went from 340 to like 350, and then there was some of them in like 4 flat. And I felt like every step was it was as perfect as possible, perfect reps all the time. And it was mental warfare. Like that, it's the hardest I've worked on my mental game ever, because it was like, you can see him right there and you almost feel like you can touch him, but you're just not getting any closer. And it was like all the aid stations were just about like ice cubes down the suit and the hat, getting cooling and getting nutrition and everything. And like, I just didn't get any closer. And then it went from, I think 38 kilometers in, it went from 35 seconds to up to 50 seconds to 1 minute. And then I was just like, the last couple of kilometers I couldn't feel my face. Like I was completely roasted, and it went from that kind of hunter's mindset to surviving mindset. And I couldn't control my breathing the last couple of kilometers, and it was just like, I just want to get to the finish line. And there was one small little turnaround, and I've probably been 90 seconds or 2 minutes in front of Kasper Stornes in 5th, but I felt like he was right there. I felt like he would catch me within the last like 100 meters, and that was extreme to have that kind of, obviously it was not true, because there was more room than what I thought, but because you're under such amount of pressure, and like the survival instinct kicks in, then everything is a threat of some sorts, and you just feel like it's all gonna crumble. And yeah, I went. Luckily, I came to the finish line and had enough room from Stornes to actually claim the fourth spot, and I'm extremely happy for that. Extremely proud, and I'm really happy for once in a long time. I felt like a racer, and I felt like I can push. Like when I got on the bike, my body couldn't really remember how it felt to do a triathlon and get out of the water and then being able to push on the bike instantly, because the last couple of years there's been other issues that made it hard to just push the pedals, and here I was just on it from the beginning, and that was a surreal feeling that gave me extreme amount of motivation, because I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to feel to do an Ironman, and that was so cool, and also that's also why I know like we're on the right path, and we've made the right decisions, even though it's not insane amounts of training and it's not the sexy sessions I've done and all that stuff. It's doing the right stuff at the right time and just keep showing up every day. That's what brought me to fourth in a world. Like, I know we've had world championships that have had worse start lists than what we had on Saturday. So like it was insanely deep, and that I feel really proud of finishing fourth in that kind of field. So yeah, I'm stoked to see what the future brings, and I look forward to tap into some of the more sexy sessions and see what that can do. I really look forward to continue just doing also the boring stuff and the basic stuff, because that's also what I need to be better at. So yeah, I'm so happy and extremely proud of how I competed, and in some way also to feel like I'm back in the game, and that's nice. Stoked for that. Now I also know my race schedule for the rest of the year, so maybe you should stay tuned, and then we'll reveal that one at a later stage. But for now, I'm just gonna chill, have a couple of good days in Houston, and then go back to St. Moritz and live life.